Welcome to the Unreal BootCamp lesson on integrating a leaderboard into the game's heads-up display. Right off the top, this lesson is completely optional. We aren't implementing any new brainCloud requests. We are going to simply use the leaderboard data that we already received from the server and display it in-game on the heads-up display. The code in this lesson is pretty specific to the example game, but perhaps you'll find it to be of some use to your game. Navigate to the HUD info scroller user widget.h file. This class is responsible for displaying a single high score on the heads-up display. Declare a public overloaded constructor that takes in a pointer to a leaderboard entry object and the initial position as the parameters. Flip over to the HUD info scroller user widget.cbp file. At the top, include leaderboard entry.h. Then implement the overloaded constructor that we just declared, making sure to initialize the text member variable, formatted with the leaderboard entry's rank and the formatted time. Initialize the rest of the member variables too. That's it for this class. Navigate to the spaceshooter HUD.h file. Declare a public method called pushLeaderboardEntry that takes in a pointer to a leaderboard entry object as the parameter. Flip to the spaceshooter HUD.cbp file. Scroll down and implement the pushLeaderboardEntry method. In the body, safety check the leaderboard entry pointer. If it isn't null, invoke the pushInfoScrollerData method passing in the HUD InfoScrollerData object as the argument. The HUD InfoScrollerData object will be initialized with the leaderboard entry pointer parameter. Navigate to the spaceshooter GameModeBase.h file. Scroll down and declare a private method called displayNextLeaderboardEntry. Scroll down some more and declare a private member variable of type int called mLeaderboardEntryIndex. We'll use this member variable to keep track of which leaderboard entry is displayed to the user. Navigate to the spaceshooter GameModeBase.cbp file. Initialize the mLeaderboardEntryIndex member variable to -1. Scroll down until you find the next level method. Implement the displayNextLeaderboardEntry method below it. This method is responsible for checking the main leaderboard's entries to see if there is an additional leaderboard entry that needs to be pushed onto the heads-up display. If there isn't, simply return out of this method. However, if there is, push the next leaderboard entry onto the heads-up display and decrement the mLeaderboardEntryIndex member variable. In the event that the mLeaderboardEntryIndex member variable is equal to 0, that means that the user's time is higher than all the leaderboard entries, and instead we'll push a notification to the heads-up display that the user has the all-time high score. Scroll up a few methods and find the prepareLevel method. In the if statement that checks to see if the game mode is endless, there's a to-do comment. Delete the comment, and in its place, get the main leaderboard from the leaderboard's manager. Safety check the pointer and ensure that it actually contains leaderboard entries. If the safety checks pass, set the mLeaderboardEntryIndex member variable to the leaderboard count -1. Then push the last leaderboard entry in the main leaderboard onto the heads-up display. Scroll up and find the tick method. Inside the else if statement that checks that the game state is gameplay, there's an if statement that checks if the game mode is endless. That if statement contains a to-do comment. Delete the to-do comment. In its place, check to see if the mLeaderboardEntryIndex member variable is not -1. If it isn't, get the main leaderboard. Safety check the pointer, and then invoke the leaderboard's getLeaderboardEntryAtIndex method, passing in the mLeaderboardEntryIndex member variable as the argument. Safety check the leaderboard entry pointer and that the user's elapsed time is greater than the leaderboard entry's time. If it is, we'll invoke the displayNextLeaderboardEntry method that we declared earlier. Click the Run button to build the project and launch the Unreal editor. Once the Unreal editor opens, run the game. From the main menu, click Endless Mode. Notice that now the leaderboard entries are displayed at the top. When the player's time passes that current leaderboard entry, it will rotate to the next leaderboard entry. And if the user's time exceeds that of the number 1 leaderboard entry, then a notification will scroll up indicating to the user that they have the highest score. The game is over and our score was successfully posted to the leaderboard. You may be wondering why, though, a new leaderboard entry was not added. That's because this style of leaderboard only allows 1 entry per user. If you want your leaderboard to have multiple entries per user, consider using an arcade-style leaderboard. How to set up global entities is the next lesson in the Unreal BootCamp.